Man wakes up sometime in the afternoon dazed with a headache. He has nothing much to lose. His career is stalled, his family dissolved, and his friends have cut him loose. What is man then? When the past has been obliterated and nobody knows or recognizes this person, is a human being then still human? The one thing that can be said with certainty is the fact that man wakes up late in the day dazed with a headache. He smells of vodka and faintly recalls an argument with someone and getting bounced from a party. It all seems distant and unimportant to this particular individual of the species Homo sapiens. He has no identity. He is a man without qualities. A man who last knew himself to be Thomas Altimer.
Jeg ved ikke, hvad meningen er, men noget af alt det, jeg har gjort. Jo, jeg ved jo, at det alt sammen er Nielsens skyld.
Before Altimer met Nielsen, he had a life. He had a family. He had a career. He had friends. He was a human being, an almost successful one at that. He was the striving Thomas Rasmussen with a home in the suburbs, with a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children, an education in political science and a job in the Ministry of Integration. But then he met the performance artist Claus Nielsen and became seduced. The 2 men struck up a most unlikely companionship and traveled the world creating art that was to change everything. The relationship was most bizarre, close and distant at the same time. As from a long-gone era, they were very formal, addressing each other by last names only. They were dedicated and hard-working, they never socialized and were never casual. And yet they confided in each other in a straight, sincere manner. At least Rasmussen did. There was a subtle mutual understanding between the 2, a chemistry like yin and yang. Together they made up 2 halves of something much larger. Both felt the other to be the only person in the world that truly understood them. Or at least that was how Rasmussen felt.
Body snatcher. Han er en body snatcher. Han er selv løbet tør for liv. Og så påhægter han sig et nyt legeme. En ny krop, og det er så mig. Den her krop.
Altimer films his life while headed for the edge. Feeling life slipping, he is compelled to document his final days as a sort of testament. A testament he is unable to write.
Kære alle sammen. Jeg er her i dag for at takke min onkel og min mor og min far for at have hjulpet mig ind i verden. Det er en meget trist verden. Jeg er meget ked af dem det meste af tiden, fordi at jeg ikke fik meget hjælp efter jeg blev hjulpet ind i verden. Og sådan er det. Tak for det. Hej.
Today, Thomas Altimer, who was once known as Thomas Rasmussen, is suing Helge Nielsen, who most likely is anonymous with the deceased Claus Nielsen. The claim is that Nielsen used the real Rasmussen as a model for the lead character in his book, The Sovereign. The book came out in 2008 when Altimer, then known as Thomas Herzen, was living an anonymous, disembodied life in Vienna. He felt deeply offended when he learned that his first identity had been taken over and used by somebody else. His very big, frayed ego was deeply hurt by the publication of the 327 pages long novel. In this book, he could read about himself, about his past, about his inner life. Adding insult to injury, he had been manipulated into a brutal character with eccentric eating disorders and delusions of grandeur. Curiously, all that transpires in Altimer's life seems planned, though not by himself. It seems as if Nielsen has imagined it all beforehand. Even Altimer's counter-moves seem to play out according to Nielsen's wishes. Now Altimer is reeling disoriented through Nielsen's labyrinth. There seems to be no escape, and yet he keeps moving.
You're tired.
Yeah.
You're frustrated. You're done.
Yeah.
At what cost?
That's very true. That is very true.
But what is that? Who are you then? What value would that be to me to find out who I really am?
This is the story about a love that drove a man beyond himself. A story about the strange, convoluted, and impossible love between 2 men, Nielsen and Rasmussen, or maybe between Henning Singer and Walter Benjamin, or between Helge Nielsen and Thomas Altimer. A love that led to the demise of one of them. It is not easy to predict how it will end for Altimer. The one thing that can be said with any certainty is the fact that this man wakes up late in the day, dazed, with a headache.